What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to do a video on why did I pay $55 for this. This is a box of weapons, and it was an auction, and what I noticed in the auction were some toys from my childhood. So again, we have $55 invested, and we're going to go through these. I don't do video editing, so I'm not going to put like the comps of things that what they've sold for, this and that. I'm just going to go and wing it and base it off of what I know, toys from my childhood. So if you're new to my channel, appreciate you guys watching. I'm always trying to educate other resellers or just people in general. Like, don't throw this stuff away. Don't give it away at a garage sale. If you take the time, you can make some money. So what I recognized, and again, this is an online auction, I noticed some of the missiles, like this one, or torpedoes, with this little notch here, that is G.I. Joe. And that's G.I. Joe from the 80s. I'm 48 years old, so I was recognizing pieces like this that I actually played with. And this looks like it's off. This is like a torpedo. So, and when they have the stickers too, I think they're worth even more. So I know just from me selling my old G.I. Joes 15 years ago on eBay that this stuff has done nothing but go up. And the reason why this stuff's worth money is people will find play sets, or they found something at a garage sale. They collect this stuff, and that particular person might be just missing one torpedo, one missile. They might be missing their sword. Things of that nature. So some of the things I do know are worth money. Right here is a purple sword, and this is from He-Man. This is from 1981. It actually had another sword on the other end. You could put the two swords together. I believe this is one of Skeletor's swords, and just this item alone can sell on eBay for about $9, and you pay about $4 for shipping. So I know that's He-Man, or MUTU as they call it. This other piece here, this is actually He-Man's axe. So He-Man had a gray sword, I believe, on one side, and then he had an axe in his other hand. So he was a dual weapon wielding He-Man. And usually these axes are pretty beat up, but I mean, look at that. It's made in the United States of America. You don't find that in today's toys, that's for sure, unless it's like some specialty thing. Even this stuff here, this might be, the heck is that brand called? But these old Army figures, I recognize these as well. And the reason is I was a little kid and I used to play with these at my grandparents' house in Westchester, Illinois. They had a little coffee table set up. It was a little wooden coffee table, had two drawers on the side, and I would just sit there for hours while my grandfather watched an old Western. I wasn't into watching Westerns, but I was definitely into playing Army. And these are actually very nice Army figures. And the sad thing is like these Army figures, he probably grabbed from, at the time was like a dollar store, or maybe it was 50 cents, and you got a bag of Army dudes. And you could basically play and simulate Army situations. And then this Indian here might be actually worth more than these little Army guys. Again, I don't know what these are worth because I haven't sold these literally in over 15 years. But again, it's like, dude, really? You spent $55 on plastic. I know most of you guys that watch my channel are into coins, which I get it. But some of you older guys that did not play with these toys, or you did play G.I. Joe, but your G.I. Joes were bigger. Well, your bigger G.I. Joes nobody cares about anymore. It's the 1980s G.I. Joes that everybody cares about now. And there's a lot of other channels that have toys. And toys are big money right now. There's like full-on conventions with toys. So when those collectors go to these toy shows and they purchase, I think this was, that might have been like a missile launch center thing from G.I. Joe. But they always are missing like a missile, or they're missing even like a piece. Even if you bought an incomplete tank or a helicopter or a plane that was a G.I. Joe, these things came in pieces, and you had to, you played with them as a kid, and guess what? The pieces got lost, they got thrown in the garbage, they got sucked up by the vacuum cleaner. Not that this probably jam up the vacuum cleaner. Stuff like this, I have no idea what this is for. So the other thing too is if you find stuff like this at a garage sale and say someone's selling a box and they just want like $5, I think other people that were bidding on the auction knew that this was worth some money. Here's another Army dude. Yeah, that's the scout, that's the lookout guy telling the artillery where to go. But and then like stuff like this. This looks a little more modern. And I was very, very little when Star Wars came out, but I do know like even the old Star Wars, like a gun or a blaster is worth some money. So these guys here are definitely G.I. Joe, and it's probably off a Cobra, some sort of plane or land-based vehicle that had missiles on it. So I know those are Cobra because of the color. These larger missiles here I'm not familiar with, but there's like different tips. So, but again, this little notch here, so if you see a notch here, and they'll have model numbers on them as well, but you'll see like a bar and then 2 circles. That's definitely 80s G.I. Joe. I don't know if they did that with the newer G.I. Joes. So this is obviously off of one particular model. Don't know whose sword this is, but that might be a $20 bill, believe it or not. That's crazy. Sometimes the smaller the part, the more valuable it is, because it definitely got lost. And we're just going to kind of organize these. This is possibly G.I. Joe. That's definitely G.I. Joe. Even something simple like this was probably a piece that goes to a G.I. Joe part, and this part alone might be $20 because they're just don't make them anymore. Now, there are manufacturers that will remake these missiles and toys with 3D printing, and 3D printers cost money, and those reproduction companies do charge a pretty penny, but the true collector wants an original. So that's what's nice about buying a lot like this, is because they're all very similar. This is cool. That's a bomb. And it's got the old danger sticker on it. Even if the sticker is like a little damaged, sometimes the stickers will never ever survive. So that's definitely a bomb from some sort of plane. I'll clean these up too. It's not like the collector wants someone's old cat hair. That cat's probably long gone, unless it's one of those miracle kitties. This guy here, I believe, is, let me zoom out here, is a Battle Beast staff. I was not into Battle Beasts. I think I had a few of them, but I didn't really follow them. But this looks like one of the staffs that the Battle Beast would hold on to, and this might be a 90s toy. See if we can see who that's in. So it's got some kind of unicorn on one side, and then it shows like some other dude when you tilt it. So, but that's this pole here might be worth $20 all by itself. So don't underestimate plastic toys, especially guns. Now that is weird. This looks more Lego-like. I don't know why. Oh, it probably has like these little things here because there might have been like a rope that, so you'd strap this onto your action figure and he would carry it over the shoulder. That is a huge blaster. That'd be really cool if that was Transformers. Now, Transformer weapons are worth even more money because those were lost even more, and the Transformers were very expensive when I was a kid. I mean, you couldn't even find them at Toys R Us. That's definitely a G.I. Joe. I don't recognize the missile, but you can see it's got jaws on it, so that's some kind of Cobra Command missile. This guy here is a huge weapon, so I don't think this is G.I. Joe, or it is possible there's this like little niche here that might have gone on top of some sort of tank or Jeep or vehicle, and then you'd have your G.I. Joe in there. But again, this weapon right here might be worth $20 all by itself. So what I'm getting at is you can make a lot of profit on stuff like this. And again, these little small guys here, don't discard them. This little guy here might be worth $10 to somebody. Because again, they have like basically a complete set, but they're just missing that one weapon. This I do not recognize at all, but it has like a really weird sticky rubber feel. This might be a weapon to an advanced Dungeons and Dragons, which again were very popular when I was a kid. Their plastic is kind of like sticky, and if this is an old advanced Dungeons and Dragons weapon, this might be worth $20 by itself. And again, I'm just guessing, guys. So those of you who are really expert at toys, that's definitely a G.I. Joe. There's a nice big, huge missile here. That's pretty cool. I have no idea what that goes to, but again, you can see the niches there. So we got a lot of missiles, which is cool. And these don't sell overnight. They are slow sellers, but again, you can sell, I might sell 5 of these and get my money back, and the rest are basically just, pure profit, which is awesome. See if there's anything in here that I recognize. This is different. No idea what this is for. This is really weird. What does this do? Oh, it's some kind of launcher. So it looks like you put something in here and it launches. I bet you it's one of these things here I picked up that looked funny. I bet you it's this big old, where the heck did that go? Oh, I thought this fit it, but it doesn't. Yeah, definitely something goes inside there and then it like launches a missile. That's the other thing too, is like some of these that actually launch, they took those features away. So I had Transformer toys where you'd stick a missile in and then it had a very powerful spring and it would shoot the missile out. Well, guess what was happening? Kids' eyes were getting poked out. So they then made the springs very, very weak. So if you can find original ones like this, and if it has a really good like old school spring in it, those are very sought after. So again, this piece right here might be worth $50. I don't know. I got to do research. And one of the good tools you can use is Google Lens. So you just basically hold the weapon in your hand, take a picture with Google Lens, and then Google Lens will tell you what the heck it belongs to. That way you don't have to guess. You can also use eBay's photo search tool, which is okay, but then it might bring up a bunch of stuff that has nothing to do with what you're trying to sell. I have no idea what this is. That doesn't ring a bell. But the nice thing too, and you buy a lot like this, and I believe this is from an estate sale. This is basically the estate sale people. They know this stuff's worth money, but they don't have the man hours to go through one by one, nor the patience. So they'll sell it off for $55, and all they did was grab a bunch of stuff and put it in a bag. So they make their $55 really quickly on something that, at a regular estate sale is going to be worthless. And then they sell it off to someone like myself who's willing to take the time. And my job is to basically help someone else out and to complete their toy collection. So I don't feel bad about it. Doing this kind of stuff, because it's kind of like saving someone the trouble. It's helping someone complete their collection. That totally got melted. Someone was playing with fire on that one. This might be it. I believe these are Transformer guns, because the Transformers had basically they had like holders like that, so their hands basically were designed to just fit that little knob there, as opposed to a G.I. Joe weapon, which this definitely I think is G.I. Joe. So G.I. Joes had like hands that were like that. These are the smaller G.I. Joe figures I'm talking about. Put more of our missiles over here. That might be a G.I. Joe weapon, even though it's huge. But yeah, this little launcher here, it definitely had some sort of spring, so you'd put something in there and it would launch it out. That might be worth $30 all by itself, just because it's rare and it's like a different type of plastic. And look, it even has like real screws in it. A lot of the Transformer toys, I believe back then too, weren't made in China like they are now. This looks like a little more modern weapon. So that might be something off of like a video game remake. I forgot the name of the game, but a lot of times when it's all kind of like one casted piece like this out of plastic. Very cool weapon. I don't know what that is. Don't know what that is. This is obviously goes into some sort of launcher. Don't know what that goes to. This looks like G.I. Joe, but it's been busted off, so that's probably worthless. And anything that's junk, I'll throw it. This is probably Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So I think I was wrong. That's not Dungeons and Dragons. I believe these are old original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from the mid 80s. Was it 86 when the first Ninja Turtles came out? So that might be Michelangelo's nunchucks. Or is it Raphael? I forgot which Ninja Turtle does the nunchucks. And this might be a blaster that maybe Bebop or Rocksteady, the bad guys on the Shredder side of things, used. So again, even like this little missile, if that's from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that might be some guy's like very last thing he needs to complete his collection. And a completed action figure with all the weapons that are correct from the era, not remade ones, can be worth a lot more than just the raw figures. So if you were presented with action figures or a bag of weapons, you always want to take the bag of weapons and missiles because they're always going to be more sought after. This could be a Transformer gun right here just because of that little unique rounded holder. Again, all the Transformer hands had similar to that, so I believe these two are Transformer, which is really cool if it's from the 80s. This also looks like a Transformer part. And each toy thing has like a different type of feel to it. This is really weird. That might be more modern. This looks like a Guitar Hero thing. This looks Transformer, but the Transformers from the 80s, I don't believe had colored weapons, so that might be more modern. Don't recognize what this is. I have no idea whose sword this is. That might be Power Rangers. And a lot of times these things aren't marked, so your best bet is to just straight up go to Google Lens. But some of these actually have like little part numbers, which they will not reproduce part numbers on remakes. So what is this? This is a floppy sword. That might be Ninja Turtles. Just again, I know you can't, there's no feel-o-vision here, but all the plastic on this it's different. It's like rubbery. It's sticky. Like the handles here on the nunchucks are sticky. The handle here on this whatever type of Asian weapon is sticky. So that's a different genre. That looks like G.I. Joe, although it's huge. And what the heck is this? That feels like sticky. So that's like someone's baton. And it could be a wrestling figures weapon as well. Some of the wrestling figures from the 80s had weapons as well. But yeah, so far this is looking really good. So I believe just in the missiles alone, I'll probably be able to make $100, and the rest of this, this might be a $400 or $500 lot of weapons. So, anyways, guys, I appreciate you guys watching. Actually, I'm gonna pause it real quick. I'm gonna count this up real quick so I can tell you how many actual items I got for $55. And this right here is looking G.I. Joe for sure. Like this alone might be worth $10. So hold on one sec. Oh, and I forgot to show this off too. That's definitely G.I. Joe. Look at that. It's got like a little spinning star on the end. I think that's one of the twins, the evil twins, someone's weapon. All right, I did a rough count and I counted 80 individual pieces, so we're less than $1 into each one. And then this is an original Lego sword from a knight, and that is mid 80s when they started doing that. I bought the first Lego knight set. It was weird. It was like a yellow castle. That looks G.I. Joe. And before the castle came out, they had a space man Lego, and see how Lego puts little Lego logos inside there. So these were the walkie-talkies that the spacemen used to communicate. And that is early 80s. That's probably like 82, 83 when Lego made those. So this piece alone might be worth $10. It's worth more than a minifig, and it's very, very rare to find minifigs from that era as well. So anyways, guys, we're in this for less than, what are we, like 75 cents? I don't have the math in front of me, and I lost count of how many weapons I counted. But I think selling 10 of these, I'll get my money back, and the rest will just be pure profit. So don't sleep on toy weapons from the mid 80s, especially when it's a nice mixed lot with He-Man, Ninja Turtles, tons of G.I. Joe, even Lego, and even little army men are worth money because they survived. And honestly, like, you know what we did? You know what I did when I was a little kid? Because I was like 3 or 4 years old playing with these. I would bite these and just bend the heck out of the guns. So this guy's in full, like, you know, you could tell, like, maybe this is some kid's old collection, or maybe it was the grandparents would keep toys around to keep the kid entertained while they babysat them. And now these are worth decent money because they're old. I mean, I'm old, 48. So these are all probably on average over 35, 40 years old. So appreciate you guys watching my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to do a second video showing from my computer screen what I listed them for. It's going to take me a good couple hours to list all of these. So I'll show you what I listed them for, and then I'll do a follow-up video showing what I ended up selling them for. So again, you guys can do this too. It just takes time, but don't be discouraged. Just grab one weapon at a time, preferably in the same genre, and rinse and repeat. All you're doing is taking photos. Take very clear photos. I do recommend when you're taking photos of weapons to actually hold them in your hand, because at least with my cell phone, it just focuses it better. You don't have to get fancy jewelry, things like this. So what I might do is I might just take a not stock photo, but a photo of this, like close up, and then hold the weapon in my hand like this, the reverse, the top, the bottom, the barrel, and the end, just so that someone knows if what they're buying, it's not damaged. Because if someone's going to spend $10, $15, $20 on a piece of plastic, 40-year-old plastic weapon, they don't want any damage. And if your item does have damage, you better put in your listing that it has damage and note that in the listing, because you don't want to upset a collector. They're looking for stuff like this. So as always, guys, appreciate you guys watching my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe if you want to learn more about stuff like this from my childhood. I think it's cool, and I love teaching people and also learning myself. And again, $55 invested. I'm going to have fun with this and also learn a little bit as well. So that way, when I run into another weapons lot like this, I will know that what this is from and what it is worth. So I can look it up really, really fast, or I don't even have to look it up. If I'm at a garage sale and I just see this, I'm just going to grab it, because chances are they'll just throw this in with other stuff that I buy. So as always, guys, appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.